Okay, good morning. Welcome to
FamilyMath number 1092.
FamilyMath1092. So we, as our one of our summer projects, are working through the challenges for the Wolfram project. Just learning how to do some basic coding in Mathematica. This was one of the introductory challenges. And we spent a lot of time on this week, which was good. We learned a lot. And it's a simple to understand question that turns out to be pretty challenging. So you start out with a number, like 10, and you want to write down the number of ways that you can get 10 points in basketball with 2 pointers and 3 pointers. And that's it. So their example here is with 14. Oh, sorry, well the first one's 5, just 2 and 3, that's the only way it can happen.
Yep.
With 14, you can have a 2 and some 3s, 4 2s and 2 3s, and then all 2s.
Yes.
I only noticed, just talking about this right now, that we actually did it backwards, didn't we? We listed it with the 2s first. However, it's not
a huge deal.
Not a big deal. We could have it worked. So the first thing I want you to talk about is what were some of the things that were difficult about this? Why don't you write those down? Because I'm not so experienced in computer programming, so I never really know what's going to be hard and not hard.
Well, one thing that was difficult was getting it to be a function.
Okay.
And not a program.
Yeah, so what does that mean to you?
So a function, well, in order to format something as a function, like here you would write 2 and 3 pointers, your function. Then you would write like your input. In this case, it would be an integer. Like this. And underscore. Then you define a function, and this is different from a program because in a program you can use things like for loops, and you can't use for loops in a function.
Well, you might be able to. I don't know. We don't know how to do it, right? You might be able to. We should probably find that out someday. But yeah, so we know how to do things sort of as programs where we've hard code an input, but with the functions where the input changes or can change, we're struggling a little bit more with that right now.
Yes.
Okay, that's one thing to talk. Can you talk about something that might have been difficult?
It was getting like the iterative nature of the output without using loops was difficult because like we thought about it where you start with a list of 2s and then it either ends in a 2 or a 3, and then in this list
yeah, because we were doing it backwards, so we started with the longest one first and then shrank it up,
and then within this list you take 3 2s out and you put 2 3s back in. That's how we thought about it, and you can't really do that if you don't have a loop of some sort.
Okay. All right, so good. So let's talk about sort of what our approach was to solving this, and some of the things we did. We won't. Well, we could actually. It's probably still up on my computer if we want to walk through the code, but. Let's talk about it first, about what our approach was to solving this problem.
Okay.